channel. For today's video, I'm going to be going over my best purchases of 2023. I did a poll and I asked you guys what you wanted to see this week, and this came out on top with like 400 votes on the broadcast channel. I decided to split this up into a couple categories and then provide like my top 3 for each. Handbags, a little bit more than 3, but we're gonna be breaking things up into lifestyle, beauty, clothing, handbags, and a miscellaneous category for some things that I didn't know how to really categorize. We're just going to dive right in. First up is going to be my lifestyle category. First up kind of gets awarded my overall best purchase of 2023, and that has got to be the Japan trip that Marco and I took in April and May. It was so incredible and probably one of the most memorable trips that I have ever been on. I just loved it so much, from the process of traveling there, how clean it was, all the food we ate, and just like the pricing of the food that we had. It was so amazing that it is on Marco and I's list to go back this year. Last year in general was a huge travel year, and I never anticipated it to be that. It just turned out that way. We had booked that Japan trip as our 2022 Christmas gift to each other, and by far best money we've spent. So now Marco and I will typically just plan a trip for our Christmas gifts because we just really don't need any more stuff, which is ironic to say as I'm listing my best purchases of the year. In case anyone is traveling to Japan this year, I do have our full 2-week itinerary linked on my blog, so I will have that link down below. I also did recently do an updated travel edit, which provides links to all of my travel necessities. We do have some things lined up for this year, which I'm excited to share as we get closer to it. Number 2 is going to be my work setup, and this consists of a couple of different items within it, but the overall desk setup has made my editing experience so much more enjoyable. This Pro XDR setup is definitely a huge investment. Luckily, I have a nephew who works at Apple, so I was able to do a friends and family discount on that one. This setup is just so great for editing, and I like that I have my work setup in the living room because I don't want to be in a room doing it, especially if I'm spending so many hours. So I can be editing, and then kitchen is right there. And I think one of the big things for me too was that I didn't want filming and editing to feel like a daunting process. I genuinely look forward to it, just enjoy it so much more now. The desk itself as well is from Engold from Forum Shop. I've mentioned this desk before, and it is made of materials found in the Philippines. It was made in the Philippines, and it was made by Filipinos, and it just makes it so much more special. That is like a piece of furniture that I know I will take with me. I love it so much, and it's definitely one of the most special pieces of furniture that I have in the house. Last one for this category is going to be my Leica Q3. Ever since I was in middle school and high school, I was the person with a camera. Like, I was the person that documented everything. I made videos, I took photos of everyone, I was tagging everyone. I just wanted to fall back into my photography hobby, especially with the travels that we had. And so the Q2 was amazing, and then they announced the Q3. This camera is still so hard to get hold of. When they announced the Q3, I put myself on the wait list, and at that point, it was just so long. I was just kind of waiting around, and then I had my trip to London. I walked into the Leica store there, and the person that was helping me offered me one. I feel like that was still so lucky. It was a very kind of Hermes type moment of getting offered this camera, and I genuinely did hesitate getting it, but I just knew that it was going to be so hard to get a hold of. And then I actually got an update from the New York City Leica store saying that, like, we know you're on the wait list, but just to let you know, we're not anticipating new inventory until spring. So these cameras have been so hard to get a hold of. If you can get one, do it, because these are on back order everywhere. I was able to find a buyer for my Q2. Yeah, I'm very excited to just shoot a little bit more with this camera. Wait. Oh, he's so cute. That's it for my lifestyle category. Next, let's go into beauty. The first one I want to mention is an Amazon ad that worked on me. and it is the Clean Skin Club towels. And before I would just use like a regular towel to wipe my face, but those things carry so much bacteria, and I noticed that my skin genuinely got better once I started using these towels. And you just basically use them, you throw them away, they're biodegradable for every day at home. These are amazing, highly recommend them. And I genuinely did see a change in my skin. These also just feel so much better on the skin compared to the face towels that we have. This is a great purchase. I'm so happy that I gave it a shot because now it's one of the regular things that I refill in our primary bathroom. Next is going to be Korean Beauty. When I went to Seoul last year before my trip to the Philippines, I knew that Korean skincare was going to be something that I was going to stock up on. There was an overwhelming amount of recommendations, but one in particular is something that I was so happy to pick up. These are also available on Amazon. They are the toner pads. Now, I just love these so much. I've been able to really downsize my skincare routine. Obviously, I'm swapping around between the seasons. It's winter right now, so I'm doing thicker and more hydrating products, but these toner pads are so good. I have a stash of them, so I should be good for a while, but I'm glad that I do have the option to get them from Amazon as well. But these toner pads probably are my number one recommendation. I have two hair tools that I want to include here. Number one is the Dyson Airstrait, and this has just streamlined my process. It just is so much quicker to dry my hair with the Airstrait, and then I fell in love with the Amika hairbrush. So these two are my go-to for just doing like a kind of bouncy little blowout look. The Amika hairbrush has been like sold out, so I'll try and find it and link it if I can. But these two have been so great for just getting a quick blowout look. My Dyson Airwrap still takes me quite a bit of time with the amount of hair that I have. So that is it for my beauty category. Obviously, there's so many other things that I can include in terms of beauty products, but I want to do a blog post on that because it includes things that I had been gifted that have now been worked into my routine. I've hit empties, I've refilled, I've purchased it on my own. There are so many beauty products I tried out last year that I'm carrying into my routine for this year. Next is going to be my clothing category, and number one has got to be my Rag & Bone Miramar jeans. I love these so much. They're so soft. I really hope that they release them in a couple more washes this year. I got these not knowing how soft they were gonna be. I am past the point of wearing anything that I'm not comfortable in, and so in case anyone loves the look of jeans but hates the feeling of jeans, especially like 100% cotton jeans, and you want a flowy trouser, get these. Next is a bit of a wild card, and it is my Schiaparelli Booby Tee. And the reason why I love this is because it's so different for me, but it's still simple enough. I genuinely love Daniel Roseberry for Schiaparelli. I went to the showroom in Paris during my solo trip, and everything is just so well done. I think I got it a year ago, but yeah, I love it so much. Next are Sambas, and I got these during my February Paris trip for my birthday last year, and I have just worn them so much. I know people say they look like bowling shoes, but they're so comfortable, and I think it genuinely depends on how you wear them. I did go a little overboard with buying different colorways, but I'm still just wearing mainly the classic pair. But they are also on my no-buy list, so I don't plan on purchasing anymore. Now is the fun part, and we are going to be going over my favorite handbag purchases of 2023. I have 6 bags, and half are Hermes, half are the Rose. I got the medium park tote in summer of last year because I wanted a nice, easy little tote bag. I didn't realize how much I would love this bag. I think it's the perfect size. I love a vertical tote, and it holds its shape really well. I don't have an organizer for this, but I like traveling with this. This was kind of like my shoulder bag. I just really fell back in love with the Row bags last year, and so I added this one, I added the Half Moon, and then we're gonna dive into my Margaux. This is the first Margaux that I got, and it is the 15. When I saw my friends in person, that's when I knew I wanted to pull the trigger, because I'd been eyeing this bag for so long, and it takes seeing it in person on someone else sometimes to know that you want it. And then I get an email from Net-a-Porter saying that I have a 20% off discount. And I saw this cutie little Margaux 10, and I just had to pull the trigger. This one comes with a strap, and it actually fits so much. So I really fell in love with the Margaux. This is comparable to a Birkin 25 The 12 is comparable to a 30, and I think the 15 is comparable to a 35. I've noticed that the Margaux are flying off the shelves. I feel like it's ever since that article came out that it's become like a new heirloom bag. Last year was a Kelly year for me, and it was crazy because I had been shopping at one boutique and then decided to transfer. Once I transferred, I think it was like 2 weeks that this bag happened, and this is the Kelly 25. This was such a pleasant surprise, and I love the retorn. This is a perfect everyday size. At the time that I got this, I genuinely was just like, I'm not even too concerned about a mini Kelly anymore. But then this happened, I think August. I think it was about 2 months later. Not a crazy spend, so I never believed that the spend rule was real, but that's why I'm a believer in just finding a really good sales associate that loves you, that has a manager that is going to approve things and send things your way. Because I got this mini Kelly about 2 months after this one. I think that's about the time frame. Crazy considering I had just officially switched to that sales associate that summer. So the mini Kelly that I got is in box, and I have fallen in love with the Palladium hardware. I just love it so much because it is so much more casual. And when I compare it to gold on box, there's just something I love so much more about this now. And then shortly after this happened is when I got the call to pick up my vintage shoulder Kelly that had been in repair for about a year. I'll also do a comparison video between these two and the Pochette, and I'm very glad that these two bags came along before the price increase that happened. Last section is kind of random, is the blanket hoodie. I have been living in this all winter. It was so rough after Christmas up until maybe just like a few days ago because I was sick on and off. First it was a stomach bug, then it was a head cold, and I think just today is when I stopped with the drippy nose. It was originally going to be my white elephant gift, and then I ended up loving it so much that I kept it, and then Margaux has one too. So I highly recommend this for anyone that is typically always cold. Sorry, Wade's just fidgeting over here. We're almost done. Is going to be my Bellini sofa. And I love this so much. I ordered this one around my birthday and it arrived, I think, around spring. And I just love it so much. I know that you see lots of different variations of it, and there are alternate options that give off a similar vibe, but I really wanted the real deal here, and I wanted the one by Mario Bellini, Camaleonda. It actually is so comfortable to sit in. It's not a sofa that I would recommend for a living room or a lot of TV watching, but if I'm just lounging, reading a little bit, playing on my Switch, doing a bit of laptop work, it is perfect, and I just love the way it looks. And again, this is one of those pieces that I'm going to be bringing with me everywhere. And I like that I can add on other sections of it in other colors, and I feel like that'd be really fun. Last but not least, gotta give a shout out to therapy and Pilates. I have been out of therapy for a few months now, but I was with my therapist from like the beginning of 2022. To this day, I'm still taking in everything that I learned through my therapy sessions, and it has been such a life-changing thing. It was an investment for myself. It was something that I was paying for every week, every session. After I stopped therapy, that's when I decided to invest in private Pilates classes. Pilates classes that I take are one-on-one, and it was something that I really wanted to do for my back. I was just getting to a point where my core was absolutely shot. I didn't want to do classes yet because I really wanted something one-on-one that was very focused to my needs, my lower back, learning how to adjust if I needed. And I'm now at a point where I can take classes, but the Pilates studio that I go to is very focused on almost a form of PT, which is really important to me. I know that there are different variations of Pilates, but this is something that was really important for me just because of how shot my back was. I haven't been back in the studio yet this year, but I am going back next week because I was sick on and off. But I love my instructor just like I loved my therapist. These two people have made my life so much better in so many ways, and I'm just very thankful for them. So if you have the means to invest in yourself in that way, whether it's mentally and physically, I don't think you can go wrong. As long as you find the right person, I think it is definitely worth the investment. That is it for my best of 2023. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.